Well, thank you for joining us on Let the Healing Begin podcast. I'm your host, Asia. And today we have Donna I'm sorry. I'm not even going to slaughter that.
Donna Tashjian.
Donna Tashjian. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It happens.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
That's good. So you want to tell everybody where you're from?
Sure. I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay. We're neighbors.
I know we are.
So are you born and raised there?
I am not.
Okay.
No. I lived here for 16 years now.
Okay. You like it?
I love it.
That's good. It is nice in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
So do you have children?
I do. I have adult children. I have 2 girls and a boy in the middle.
Okay. So where'd you grow up at?
I grew up more in the southern states of the U.S., and we did a lot of moving growing up. So it wasn't in specific. I don't have like, this was my home growing up kind of a thing. So we moved about every 2 years or so.
And well, I'm going to back up a little bit. So how was your childhood growing up? Did you grow up like in a 2-parent household, a single parent? How was that for you?
I grew up in a 2-parent household, but it was a blended family. It was both of my mom and my new father's second marriage. So there was stepbrothers, if you will, and then my brother and I that my mother brought into the family. So.
Okay. And were they older than you, younger than you?
Some of both. I was kind of in the middle.
Okay. So, how was that being the only girl in the house?
Well, shortly after my parents married, I had a sister that was born. I was 10 years old. So 10 years is quite a big difference in age. But how was it being the only girl? I had a lot of responsibilities. I had to help, I helped with things a lot. And I became a tomboy. I had 4 brothers.
Wow. Okay. So let me ask you this, like growing up, did your parents have any like alcohol or drug use in the home?
No.
Okay, that's good. That's really good. So like growing up into like, let's say preteen, teen years, how was that? What was life like around that time for you?
Well, at the age of 14, someone close to me hurt me and I became pregnant. So I was a mother at the age of 15. So I would say that was a pretty big event.
Yeah.
In my life. Yes.
So let me ask you this. Is this something that just happened one time or was it like a continuous thing?
There was some abuse going on for a while, but all of the details, I'd rather not get into all of it.
Yeah. Okay. And if you don't want to answer this, that's fine. So prior to the pregnancy, like, did anyone know about it prior to the pregnancy, or the pregnancy was like the big reveal?
It was the reveal.
Really? And I know that had to be hard being a teen mom.
Yes.
How would you say your family took everything? Like, because that's like a double whammy, like with the pregnancy and on top of everything. How was that?
My family was really big. I think, which a lot was really big on image. And so I was hidden. And nobody talked about it. It was just all of a sudden, I'm pregnant, as if it was a miracle, kind of So there wasn't any really conversation about it. There wasn't talking about it. It was just continue to move on with life. And now Donna has a baby. So the sweeping under the rug kind of a feeling. that kind of thing. So everything was secret. Nothing's ever talked about. And my parents didn't kick me out, which I think a lot of young moms run into that. But they gave me a place to stay and all of that. And then I finished high school and got a job, and I was on my own by the time I was about 18.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: like, as far as the whole sweeping everything under the rug, what type of effect do you feel like that had on you, if any?
I don't know how it would have been to talk about it because it didn't happen. So I don't have the comparison to compare it to. The one thing that did affect me is it felt like how I felt and what had happened to me didn't really matter. Mm-hmm. So feeling like you just keep going. You don't talk about your problems where, if you want to, all of that. So that was hard for a teenage girl. Yes.
Okay. And so, like, after having this baby and getting out on your own, what was life like for you then?
Well, I was 18 with a 3-year-old. You can get that picture in your head. I was working full time. I was going to college and taking one class a week or a semester, one class a semester. So it was busy, trying to make ends meet, trying to move forward and provide so that I wasn't stuck in lower end jobs.
Yeah. Now let me ask you something else. And if this is too personal, then I understand. Was there any time like, because I know, like, being that young of a mom, was there any time that you had mixed emotions, like anytime you would look at your child? Because that's, some people don't do well with, giving birth in that type of situation. Do you feel like that made it harder?
It was never an issue for me.
That's good. That's good. And I just asked that because I've ran into some people, who are the ones that were birthed in a situation like that.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of them too.
Yeah, where some moms just kind of and it is a hard, situation. And I'm sorry that happened to you. So let me ask you this. Did you go to college at all?
I did. Remember I had said I was taking college courses. Oh, yeah. Okay. While working full time. So it was all I could handle was one a semester.
Yeah. And what would you go to school for?
I was planning on going to school to become a nurse. I didn't know exactly how I was going to get there, but that was the plan at the time. I did not end up finishing college. I met my husband and we moved, future husband. He wasn't my husband yet. I met my future husband and we ended up leaving the state that we were living in. He was in the military. Mm-hmm. And so he moved back to his home state and I soon followed. And after that, college didn't fit into the agenda.
Mm-hmm. And let me ask you this. When it came to moving out of state, let me back up some. So how'd you guys meet?
We met in college at night.
Oh, did you? Okay. Mm-hmm. And when it came to moving out of state, was your family supportive of you taking off like that?
My family had already moved. Remember, I talked about how much they moved. They had already moved from Bulgaria, and so I don't really know what their opinion was. It didn't really play into it.
Okay. So once you moved and got settled, what was life like being in a new area for you?
It was hard. It was hard trying to figure out where I moved to upstate New York. Mm-hmm. And remember, I grew up in the South.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of difference.
Yeah.
So, I remember just a little side joke. My future mother-in-law, we weren't married yet, asked me if I wanted soda. And I didn't know what soda was because it was pop.
Yeah.
And so I said, no, thank you, because I didn't know what I would be saying yes to.
Yeah.
And then when I saw them pouring, I think it was Pepsi, I'm like, I'll take some Pepsi, please. You know, I'd like some Pepsi because, but she called it soda and I didn't know what soda was. So, you know, there's things like that you're trying to fit in, and I'm bringing a child into this new relationship too. So there was all of that kind of adjustment. And some of his family were warm, but there is just a different aloofness, generally speaking, about people from the northern states that are different than the southern states.
And you know what? I'm from the northern states, and I absolutely agree. Every time I go down south, I'm like, everybody here is so much nicer than back at home, you know, and just warm and welcoming. I'm like, it's crazy. I feel like I was in Florida last year, and I'm like, everybody down here is so nice. People back home are so just like kind of rude, like, you know, just really like short. They don't have a whole lot of patience, you know.
So that was and I'm already insecure.
Yeah.
All of that. And so trying to fit in. It ended up working out well. Him and our families are close, but that initial feeling was a bit awkward.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: like, when you would feel awkward, would you express this to him, or would you kind of just like carry this on by yourself?
No, we talked about everything.
That's good.
Yeah, we've been married 38 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, you know, trying to get like just acclimated to like the move and raising the kids and stuff like that. What would you continue working, or what was that like?
Yes. At that point, well, my husband had adopted our daughter, so that I had earlier, and she was in school. And so I was working full time and he was working full time, and, you know, going about life.
Yeah. Oh, that was nice. So, about how long did it take for you guys to have more kids?
We got married in November and we had our son the following December.
Okay.
So quick.
That's nice. But let me ask you this. Do you think it was more challenging with having the second child, or was the second child kind of a help to kind of like keep your daughter busy? You get what I'm saying? Because she had a playmate?
Well, not for a while. You know, at that point, when he was born, she was 7. And so you got a newborn and a 7-year-old. They don't play,
right.
You know. So no, I wouldn't say it was harder, but they weren't playmates yet.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And how do they get along now? Are they pretty close? That's good. So, with continue working and stuff, what way did your life begin to shift, or, you know, what began to change? Like, what was your next stage of life for you?
Well, when our son was 2, I had another daughter.
Okay.
So, at that point I had 3 children. And just being a mom, raising kids, when my son was, still an infant, I quit working full time and stayed home. So I was a stay-at-home mom. We had several side businesses, you know, side hustles, kind of little things here and there, making some money and keeping busy doing that. Involved in our church.
Okay.
That was part of it, as well as and then my husband working full time. So
okay,
that was life. And through all of the things, as the kids matured and got older, and I began to, as a pretty young adult, begin to meet with people, probably in my 20s, meet with people regularly to help them overcome things in their life. We would have called it mentoring at that point.
Okay.
So I did that, and that continued to grow over the years. And so I guess that answers that question.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. What made you step into the arena of mentoring? How did that naturally come about?
It just kept happening.
Okay.
People, I found when it's a natural gifting, you find yourself doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It is an effort. And so, if I had $1 for every time somebody said, I've never told anybody this, I can't believe I'm telling you this.
Yeah.
That just continued to happen. So as I identified that I liked it, I was good at it, learning how to do it better was always how to care for people when they're hurting, and those kind of things is something that I have investigated and learned about at this point for decades.
Right. So did you start up a mentoring business? Was that your first side hustle?
No, it wasn't. It was just something that I was doing, usually through nonprofits or my church that I was involved in.
Okay. So what else? What other type of businesses did you guys start?
We were in several multi-level marketing businesses. And then later on, I was running a nonprofit organization myself as executive director for 12 years. Mm-hmm. And following that, we started a property management company. And so we have been doing that one for 20 years now. So there's just always something been going on.
Mm-hmm. And what was your nonprofit specializing in?
The name of it was Love Inc. Okay. And the purpose was to organize the community to help people in need.
Okay.
And so I would talk with the organization, would take calls from people in need and coordinate with agencies and churches to find resources to meet the needs that were in the community. Okay,
that's nice. So you definitely have a background of helping people.
Yes.
So let me ask you this, like when it comes to because like you said, a gift, that comes naturally. And I definitely can tell that you have a gift of helping others. Have you just always been like that, like even growing up?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm sure that, that it's such a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's so fulfilling, should I say. It's so fulfilling to be able to give back to others. So yeah, that's really nice, just getting out into the community and stuff. So let me ask you this now, because based on the things that you've been through, if we have someone listening that may be going through something similar, what's one thing you would say to them?
Well, whether it is what I went through or some other kind of trauma, because there's all kinds out there, the biggest thing that trips us up is that we create our identity about what happened to us. And it doesn't mean that it's true, because there was all kinds of words spoken over me and about me when that happened that were not edifying. And so learning that, one of the things that I say about Vibrant Living is our mission, one of our missions is to stop identity theft. And I'm not talking about our credit cards. I'm talking about when stuff happens to us and we get labels put on us, and how that is constrictive. When, even if, let's say you're an artist, told that that's stupid, you'll never make any money at that. Or I was told, you're a crybaby, you're too sensitive. Well, I'm compassionate. And that's a gift, but I've been told it's bad. And so, we get that, you didn't do good in math, or you did great at math, but you didn't do good in English or whatever. It's like all these labels. You're stupid. You're too slow. You're too fast. You'll never mount anything, whatever. All of this stuff that we get told, bad things. We screwed up. Let's say we made bigger mistakes, or we're divorced, or whatever. Alcohol, drugs, all of these labels seem to define us so that we can't really be who we were created to be.
Yep.
And so how my mission is to help us not let that occur so that we can process the pain, redefine it of really what it is, and then be able to develop our gifts so that we can really shine. That's what I would say is get support. Recognize that these are just labels. They do not. One of my favorite sayings is your past does not have to define you unless you let it.
Yeah.
Because anything is possible when we believe and we have the tools and the support to do it. I want to help everyone I come in contact to be a little bit more vibrant, shine a little bit brighter, and quit thinking that we're so easy to go to the negative. Our brain defaults to it for a protection reason. You have to seek out the positive on purpose. It doesn't just happen. So let people heal from the past. I love the name of your podcast, letting people heal and not just bury it and pretend like it didn't happen, but learn how to process it accurately with the truth so that you can actually use those things. Let me tell you this story. You probably heard it. There was a donkey who fell in a ditch and they couldn't get the donkey out. So they decide, we'll just bury it. We'll just bury the donkey. So they started shoveling, shovelfuls of dirt. The donkey just steps on them and kept shoveling dirt. So pretty soon the donkey just walks out. And so we can let the stuff that happens to us be a stepping stone, if you will, because the thing that happens, that was one story. The things that have happened to me have given me compassion and empathy and skills that would not have had, let alone my beautiful daughter, that I had if it had not happened. And so learning to find the gift in the adversity and getting support and help. That was a long answer.
No, that was really good. That was real good. That was real good because like in my personal life, I didn't first of all, like I didn't realize how traumatized and just broken and hurt I was until I actually started doing some healing. Like we all have a past and some of us have, more traumatic past than others. But like you said, we can't walk around like it didn't happen because whether you're ready to deal with it or not, like it's still going to show it back up, in other areas of your life until you actually like sit down and like, okay, I gotta deal with this, and you don't have to hide it or be ashamed of it. We all have a past. It's best to really work through the stuff and use that, like you said, for your gifts. And also to, cause a lot on the show, like I talk about telling our stories, tell your story. It helps kind of get that stuff out. And then you never know, who may be needing to hear what you have to say, because a lot of times while we're going through things, it always feels like impossible, right? If only, so if you hear somebody else talking about, wow, they got through it, so it is possible,
It is.
And so, that was real good what you said. And like you said, letting the light shine, you have to seek out being positive and find something positive in every situation, no matter what the circumstances is. Like, cause it's not just going to fall out the sky, I mean, sometimes we stumble across some really good stuff, but like we have to learn, we have to learn how to, live in the now and appreciate the things that we do have, and also appreciate the things that we don't have, because if it's something that is not meant for us or we're not ready for it, a blessing can turn into a curse really fast, So that wasn't long. That was real good. Thank you for that. That
You're
was
welcome.
really good. That was really good. So let me ask you this. Do you feel like with you getting out helping other people, that's helped like with your healing, it's helped accelerate your healing in other ways, regardless of what like the labels and stuff people have put on you?
I wouldn't say specifically it's because I am helping people that healing more has occurred, but because I am using my gifts and allowing that to happen. So whatever people's gifts are, anytime we help people, you give, you receive. So that has definitely occurred, but learning to be able the right way to process. And a lot of people who meet with me have been in counseling for a long time and are not getting the results that they want. And so therefore, working with me is a great opportunity for them because I have not had anyone not have results.
That's good.
So, yeah.
That's really good. Now, let me ask you this. So say if it's someone that's listening and they keep hearing us talk about gifts, right? And they're trying to figure out what their gifts are. How can you give someone advice on that?
So much time that we can spend on the question, who am I and why am I here? It's like, and when you're still in the middle of all of your processing of your stuff, it's sometimes hard to see your way out, to see what my gifts are, because at the moment, I don't even know if I matter. And so it's difficult. So the first step is beginning to process what's happened, whatever that is in your story. And then before you can, because it's a step toward, do you even like yourself? Because there's times where that's not the case. So beginning to process would be step one before you begin to discover what your gifts are. Everyone is here for a reason. No one has your fingerprints. No one has your DNA.
Yep.
And with the billions of people, that's a statement, isn't it?
It is.
I'm like, that is just mind-boggling that no one is the same. Nobody has the same nose. You might look like mom or dad.
Yeah.
But you've got a different face. And so, all of the things, it's like, how can there be that many different combinations? And so the first step is recognizing your uniqueness and realizing that there is something that you bring to the world that no one else does. And it isn't necessarily always doing, it's who you're being. And that's sometimes a hard concept to grasp, but working on healing, and then whatever you're gifted at, it's easy. In fact, it's things that you say, well, everybody knows how to do that.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, everybody doesn't know how to do that. Yeah. Or you see an example is a musician. My grandson is 6. He will hear music on YouTube, go over to a keyboard. He doesn't know the notes and he will play it.
Wow.
Now, and he's like, everybody does that. So, but everybody doesn't. And so there are things that people just, they're artists and they just think numbers or whatever it is. And me, it was sitting and helping people. It's my sweet spot. Every time I have a conversation with people, they are better off than when I met them. And so, and that will be the case today on this podcast, is it will bring it as well. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
It comes out. And so everybody has that, and learning to be able to embrace it and then learn how to do it better. Just because my grandson can do that does not mean he knows how to play the piano. So learning how to do it better and using our gifts and growing in them.
That was amazing. That was amazing. So one more thing before we close out. If people want to work with you outside of this, like say they might want you to mentor them, or say they just want to work with you, how can we find you?
The easiest way is my website, and it is the letter I, vibrantliving.com.
Okay.
There is a lot of free resources there, but the best next step wherever you find yourself is there's a schedule now I think it says tab on my website, and schedule a chat with me And let's talk about what's going on. You will walk away with that, with takeaways on what is going on in your life with clarity, and then some next steps on where to go from there.
Okay. That's nice. Are you on social media as well? Do you have like, is your Vibrant Living on social media as well?
Yes. Vibrant Living has a business page. I am on social media. I have a very unusual name, remember? And so it's easy to find me. I am on most of the platforms. And so look me up. That's another way to check me out and follow me. But my website has the most information all in one place.
I'm going to check out this website for myself. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, Asia.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoy speaking with you, and you're so seasoned, and like I appreciate the helping that you do. Not just like for me, because this right here helped me too, but for other people in the world, like everybody that's blessed that has an encounter with you, I'm grateful for that. And you having a genuine heart for people, for others, because not everyone has that gift, So right. I appreciate your gift, and you not only like you just having the gift, but you operating in that gift, like, being aware of it, and then taking the time and the want to like deepen it, and also to operate in that on a daily basis. So thank you. I appreciate that.
It's my pleasure, Asia. It took us a little bit to get here, but it's been good.
Yeah, that's good. And it'll keep getting good. It'll keep getting better. It'll keep getting better. So. Well, thank you so much for joining in and listening on Let the Healing Begin podcast. Please head over to www.greatergrowthllc.com. Support the t-shirt and hoodie site. And until next time.